Padres got some massive decisions coming up to make on the roster. Let's talk about them, the implications that's going on in the latest news of Michael King and how that all ties together for you as Padres fans. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. We're going to be talking September expanded rosters or call-ups or whatever verb you want to use for them in this video, and how Michael King is going to play a role in it one way or another, whether or not he is going to be functionally as a starting pitcher, and everything that's going on and everything that I think could be going on. So we got a little segment of fact and we got a little segment of opinion in this video. Before we get to that, though, like I said, you can comment on anything going on, anything else you also want to see a video on, and if you want to hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. If not, no worries, I suppose. The Padres are coming up on September, and that means the expanded rosters. Now, for those of you that maybe only casually follow baseball, you're like, expanded rosters, what? In September, historically, baseball has always allowed for more players to be called up, I think kind of, if for no other reason than teams are depleted and tired. It went from being the entirety of the 40-man roster to it is now 28 players total. So you're gonna add 3 guys in September, and those 3 guys, you can add anybody on your 40-man roster with the stipulation of you can't have more than 14 pitchers on your roster at any one given time. So the Padres are going to be able to, they have 13 pitchers right now. They're going to be able to add 1 pitcher and 2 position players. So I am curious who you guys think could or should be this pitcher or position players. The pitcher, I did not initially conceive of this, so I owe this to Andrew in the group chat. But right now there are 13 pitchers. Michael King would be number 14. But Michael King being number 14, I am curious in what capacity he threw a bullpen on Sunday, which is yesterday as of us recording this, or earlier this week as of depending on when you were watching this. But it seems from all indications that his knee, things are going really well, which, okay, so he'll come to the end of his time on the IL, on the end of the 15-day IL, right around the end of this month, beginning of September. I don't see him necessarily wanting to be asked. He had a great quote. He can make up for a shortened season. He said this in Sports Illustrated by pitching deep into September. Great. How much do the Padres, if they are in control of call it a playoff spot, how much of that do they really want to risk Michael King's ability to pitch into October with? So Andrew threw this out of, we put Michael King on the roster, whether or not he is entirely healthy. He gets on that last slot. So they basically you're consider it activating King at the end of the month, but then adding back Sears. But I think that's the direction they will and should go. I agree with Andrew's opinion on that. I think that the Padres adding King to get him any sort of opportunity to get out there. Basically, you quasi have the option to go with a 6-man rotation at that point. And I don't see anywhere in our bullpen that we need to be like, oh, X, Y, or Z. People aren't getting enough work right now. I mean, obviously, we always want them to pitch as little as possible, but we've got plenty to go around. I then took the time to look other side of this. And the conversation then switching over to the if that fills out our position players, or if that fills out our pitchers, who are our position players? And this got interesting to me. Here I'm showing you the Padres top 10 prospects, actually top 11 prospects, to help illustrate some of what I wanted to talk about, and that being Terso. I guess where I'm at right now is here's we'll do the factual side of it, is that if Michael King is the best pitching option to add, 2 probably of the 11 names on here could potentially be added. I would be curious if you guys are Terso people, if you are like, do some of you still want Campy? In Padres seasons previous, and this is where maybe just a warning, this is going from fact to more opinion. In Padres seasons previous, I feel like the call-ups have been, it's time to take a look at X, Y, or Z person. And, we're going to get our first feel for this guy. And they're like, optimism from relief of the dog days of summer really got to us. We're far back of this. And granted, in the last couple of years, that has changed because the Padres have been consistently in it in some degree of the wild card the last couple of years. But in the generality of being like a Padres fan over the last several decades, the September call-ups have been like a little rejuvenation of life. I don't necessarily see, like, I like the team we have right now. And when I look back at this, when I look over here at this full list, I don't see anybody other than Ethan Salas that I'm like, oh, yo, like that's whether or not he's playing a ton in the call-ups, it's just dope to see him in the dugout type of thing. But Salas has not really done baseball activity this year. So it's not like calling him up right now would do any good. He might as well be sitting in a suite in Petco. Might as well be watching the game on the Fubo app from a phone in the dugout of a minor league game or in the spring training camp. Like, he needs to be doing baseball stuff. Like, he's not, he is our top prospect, but he is not baseball serviceable right now. So beyond that, rookie ball, A ball, double A, triple A ball, like a lot of low A guys. And I guess we were talking about DeVries and I was talking about LDV being a guy that we could have called up. Maybe that was my homerism, optimism. He looks the part. I don't see a ton on here that I go, oh man, that's the exciting future. And maybe also I'm just disheartened about it because of the way that we've seen AJ really just say, yo, bleep the prospects. We're going for it. So maybe I'm trying not to get overly attached to anybody. But that being said, I like the team. Its construction isn't even fully complete right now in the sense of like we've been like, is it Arraez or O'Hearn? We have other guys that we're worried about still trying to figure out where do they fit permanently in like the best scenario of the Padres and how do we construct the optimal lineup. So I don't really know if I even want to invite anybody in to give them a look. Like, yeah, we need to fill those two things and cool to see some bodies come up to whatever, but the two guys that I think come most to mind are Turso and Campy for me. But I don't know if I even want to insert them much. Here's Turso's numbers. 1 for 7 for him on the major league season. Campy 0 for his life at the major league season. So combined between these two guys that we're talking about adding, I want to say that I recognize that it's only one hit this season. But I guess my question on the decision the Padres got to make is what are you doing? Are you messing with the vibes at all? And are you trying to call up a catcher that has been hitting like this all season at AAA? I mean, absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. These are Campy's AAA stats. If I told you we had a AAA catcher hitting like this, and I granted this is coming off the day I'm recording this the day after Elias Diaz has his moment, or 2 days after. Like the catchers are Freddie for me. Like they're hitting better, they're hitting well. And if I told you we got this, you'd be like, yeah, no, duh, we'd want to insert that. But seeing that Campy hasn't hit this well, hasn't hit at all at the major league level this year. Are you trying to bring him up and give him playing time? Are we trying to risk a game here or there because of a revert back to the like we got a black hole at one of these two positions in exchange for trying to be like, oh, XY, like Campy got some at bats and we got to figure out that he really, really doesn't have it, or maybe he does. I don't know. That's where I'm kind of like, do the Padres even want to risk calling up guys that they're tempted to insert? Is it just going to be like, okay, we'll call you two up because you are the best two options and it's a nice story? Turso, I think his numbers are, to me, like 1 for 7 is an incomplete sample size. These are good numbers. He serves as a great backup outfielder. The Padres right now have been dealing without Jackson Merrill for a while, and they've been seemingly willing to play man down. So that's where I think kind of tying all this in. The September roster call-ups, like, what are you going to use them as? Are these more just basically dead roster spots? Leave Michael King there because it's like, oh, we don't want to deal with an option up or down. Is he really back? Is he not back? I don't know. We can soft launch him back by using one of our call-up spots. Well, you can be like, oh, either we leave Merrill on that while he heals from his bone bruise without going to the IL, and then bring up Turso as a backup outfielder. And the two, Turso gets 2 at bats here or there. We use him as a pinch DH runner, fielder, whatever kind of thing. And Campy gets 1 start. Like, are these dead roster spots still? Are these spots that you guys are interested in seeing used in some specific way down the stretch here? Do you like the Padres vibe as it is kind of a tough choice because the Padres are, despite losing a stinker to the Dodgers at the end of there, like, we are in first place, we are in control, we are looking good as a team. So do you even want to mess with it? Or is it nice to bring up some guys and get some rest and some rejuvenation and a little, like, having the ability to say, hey, Merrill does not have to play every day because we got another guy. I don't know. That's where I'm curious. That's where this goes from here are the facts about the roster call-ups are coming to the end of me just kind of going, hey, how do you feel about this? Because I don't know. And it's fun to play DH, or it's fun to play GM. It's also fun to play DH, just to get to hit. But let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Like I said, if you want to hit the subscribe button, it would also be much appreciated. No worries, though. Talk to you guys next time.